Hello everybody, today I'm here with a tutorial on how I make an eye. Doesn't mean everyone has to make it the same way, it's just my version of it. And I hope to share it with you guys. If you ever lose hope on making an eye, just honestly make the smiley face instead. Actually, it looks really spooky. But those eyes work too. So I start off with making the outline of the eye, and as you can see, it's very sketchy lines, but it's still, you get the shape of it, and it's also a bit dark too. Not afraid to go dark with this. So that's kind of how the shape of an eye looks, not like that, or that. I don't make it just with singular one line. I make very sketchy lines and I make it look so it looks like a demented lemon, kind of. And then I start with the jelly part of the eye. I don't know what it's called, but I always start with this. And I kind of shade it so it's like dark on the outside, lighter in the middle. And then I've noticed that eyes actually have this like jelly part of the eye, like the pink stuffs, on the under, like the lash line on the bottom, but I never see it on the top, so I just shade that in too with around the sides. It's like darker, and then you can go in the middle and like erase it if you want it to look lighter in the center, because I'm making my light come into the center. And then I make the iris, and this, as you can see, is not a perfect circle. In fact, the top is kind of cut out. And then I'm going to make the black part of the eye, and this is a bit of a better circle. It's a full circle, but not every eye is like this. This is just an eye in its normal, like everyday position, if your eye looks like this. But then I just shade it all black. It's not like, the sketch is not hyper realistic or anything. It's just a sketch for beginners and intermediate artists. If you want to know how to make a sketch that's like in between cartoonish and realism, a bit more realistic. And then I'm going in to shade the iris with this, and it kind of looks like the eye might be blue or something, like, because it's shaded so lightly, but I want to go in and make it a bit darker, like, to model my eye, kind of. My eye is brownish black, so I'm gonna just shade it in much more. It's a bit darker. And then, as you can see, the lines, they're very linear and they like go towards the middle. And then there's like dark spots and light spots and lines and stuff. Now I'm just shading it to my desired look. And also, if you guys probably have noticed, I'm using a mechanical pencil, and this is actually, it makes it a bit difficult. I don't think you're supposed to use mechanical pencils when drawing, but you know, rules are meant to be broken. Not that it was a rule. But drawing pencils are definitely the best, and I honestly have drawing pencils right beside me. But I don't know why I always like using mechanical pencils, but be careful of the pressure you are applying with them. If you use them like a normal pencil, when you're writing, you won't get the desired realistic look, but as you can see here, I'm barely even touching the paper. I'm trying to make it very light and make it look like a natural eye would, not like it's crying or like dying or something like that. Like, I'm also making veins. Don't make the Halloween look. It's like, I don't know, super extra. Just very, very lightly. And as well, the veins are very light. barely there, but they're there because we all have them. And then I'm going in again and darkening the lines. You don't have to, but here I am. And now I'm going to make the eyelid. And as you can see, the eyelid, it's not the perfect like round shape. There's actually a bit of curves to it, like right now. And every eyelid is different, of course. There could be an eyelid, there could not be an eyelid. Depends on the eye, depends on your reference. Right now, my reference is kind of just free, my head, whatever, doodles, like ideas from the past, kind of just going together in my head. I don't know what I'm making. Kind of resembles my own eye, because I just look at my own face so often. So I think that's what my eye is kind of going towards, my own face. But here I am, just shading it in more. And follow the basic rules, no matter what eye shape there is, just make sure it's darker towards the edges and stuff like that. And then don't forget your lighter parts. And I press harder on the dark parts and then kind of release my pencil a bit so the pressure is less when I'm shading inwards. And I always make this like skin thing at the front. And now I am going in to make lashes on the bottom. And as you can see, they're not like all the same distances from each other. They're kind of overlapping too at some points. But they're very small, they're very light on the bottom. And then the top lashes, these are one of my favorites. And it's kind of like rounded. It's not your just straight up like lines on the top of the eyes. They're rounded off like that. And as you can see, like I put pressure on the bottom and then I kind of release them onto top. And these are like how the lashes I feel kind of go. It's not like all in one direction. I feel like at the right side they're leaning towards the right, in the middle they're kind of going up front, and on the left side they're going towards the left side. But definitely on the left side they are smaller, and at the right side they are larger. But depending on what type of lashes you're trying to achieve, it'll all be different. And usually lashes aren't this long, but mine has like eyelash extensions or something. And here I'm going for the eyebrows. These are good eyebrows. I like eyebrows. I've seen a lot of people do this. It's very boxy. It's good for cartoon eyebrows, but most eyebrows don't look like that unless you draw in your eyebrows and want that. So I just make each an individual eyebrow, and I go in very, like that, kind of. And at the front, there's like more on the front, and then at the end, I kind of just curve it off. It depends all on what shape you want on your eyebrows. I wanted this one, a slight arch. And then I shade it in. I don't want to shade this part too much because it might take away from the actual eyeball part, which is the focal point. But I do it lightly. And it's kind of like the way I'm shading it, it's like ovals, you know? So it's like an oval motions. It's very light and it's overlapping each other and going towards the edge or like the right end of the eyebrow. That's kind of how if you put eye makeup and stuff, eyeshadow, that's kind of how you put the eyeshadow too, sometimes, or maybe it's just me. And then I'm lightly, barely touching, shading that in. And at the bottom, we all have eye bags. I mean, unless you hide them. So I'm lightly making those. I don't want to put too much because then the eye does look like it's tired and maybe a little bit older. So I'm doing it very lightly, although I do have a lot of eye bags. And you can also rub that in to make it the shading better. But I'm keeping mine as it is, and that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. It's my first tutorial. I'm so happy to have made it, and I'm probably going to make more on like lips, nose, or whatever you guys want. Thank you for watching. Bye!